Well, recently I picked up this rather interesting film, which is Positive Release Film 2383. Now, when a film has been projected in the cinema, this is a type of film that it will be made out of, the positive film. So, the film itself feels pretty thin. It's almost, well, you can see through it quite easily as well. It's got a very thin emulsion on it. So I bought this from a seller who was doing contact printing, and he was just processing it through the ECN2 process. So I'm going to do experiments with it. In fact, I already have. So I've got some results to show. But this is a roll that I've just done of images from the computer screen. I'm basically trying to make slides with this. So what I'll do just now is show you some of the results that I've managed to get. So I've still been having a problem with my developing process where sometimes the normal films that I process, like Kodak Vision or whatever it is, will come out dark red with poor contrast. And this first roll I did of this came out with a green colour mask. But anyway, we've just got pictures of a test card pattern in here. And as you can see, the colours have just come out totally wrong. These are just exposures ranging from 2 to 30 seconds. And that was just straight off the screen. What do I have here? Just a sort of few more images, just pictures of the computer screen. And these ones that have a sort of magenta tint to them, I put a yellow filter in front of the camera. The seller did suggest using that, but it didn't work. And that's just because the light off the computer screen is just so white. So I'd probably need more messing about to get it to work. And that's basically all this roll is. Nothing impressive. Nothing's come out brilliantly on this roll. Let's see. These ones came out okay, but as you can see, they're just far too red. So I'll show you my first contact printing run. Now I've kind of mucked this up because I had the negatives flipped the wrong way in the contact printer. But again, it came out with a green colour mask. And these were just exposures ranging from between 1 to like 15 seconds. I think these images are upside down maybe. Yeah, they are. That's how these ones came out. Let's see, let's go a bit further on. The best results here came from these rather dark images, which again are the wrong way up. They came out pretty nicely. I really like the colours in the last two there. And I think I had the yellow filter in front of the light source. It really did come out nicely. I really liked those. And these just came off C41 film, which are processed in RA4. So this wasn't off motion picture film. And again, we just have some leaves here. Never came out brilliantly. So that was that one. And then for some odd reason, here's my final test. It came out brilliantly. So I'm just trying to find the start of it just now. So here we go. The mask is almost clear, so that's really good. It actually looks very slightly light brown to me, but as you can see our images here, if I just reduce the light a bit, these look pretty good, although the colours are a bit off. And again, this was just messing about with exposures on the contact printer ranging from like 1 to 15 seconds. These ones are upside down because I never put them in the machine properly. Let's go a bit further. There we go, just me paddling in some lake up in the north of Scotland. Now these ones at the end, especially the very last one, it just came out beautifully. This one is absolutely perfect. Colours spot on. I think this was maybe 2 or 3 seconds with the yellow filter in front of the lens, and this came out of a, what film was it? It was EXR 50D. So I had the filter in front of the light source for that one, I think. But it is heavily experimental based. You've got to experiment a lot with this. So just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, I'm basically just experimenting. This is a sort of a test palette image, and I've just inverted the colour so it comes out positive in the film, and I've been experimenting with turning it red to try and offset the red in the film itself. But I'm going to develop that now, and I'll show you how you do that, because the process is slightly different with this film. So now we're ready to begin developing. So you need a decent water bath to keep everything at the correct temperature. I'm just using RA4 developer, ferricyanide bleach, which I've got a video on how to make that, and I've also using just thiosulfate fixer, and I've got a video on how to make that as well. So let's begin. So the developer needs to be at about 40 degrees Celsius, anywhere from 38 to 40 should do it. Your bleach, however, needs to be at 27 degrees Celsius, and it's only for 1 minute, the bleach. So I'm taking the bleach out just now just to make sure it stays cool enough. I only want that at 27, because if it's too hot, then it's probably going to ruin the film. We're starting the developing now. So we're going to develop for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but that's because this developer has been used before, so it'll be 3 minutes for fresh developer. So just pouring this in now. There's no rem jet to remove, so that makes the whole process much easier. Just make sure to cover the film, bang it on the table a few times, then I'm just going to agitate that continuously for the first 15 seconds. And then we just leave that to sit in the water bath. It's just off to one side. Now we're agitating it for 5 seconds every 30 seconds, just as per your developer kit instructions. Okay, so that's us done with the developer now. I'll just pour this out. Then immediately pour in the stop bath for 1 minute. This stop bath is a citric acid based stop bath, so reasonably inexpensive and harmless. Once the stop bath is done, rinse it quite a few times with warm water, as this prevents contaminants getting into the bleach and the bleach then reacting with them. So this is just a simple wash before I let it light in. And I'll wash it a few times. Oh look, there we go, there's some rather contrasty looking images visible already. A bit too dark and contrasty for my taste, but we'll see how it changes after the fixer bath, because we've still got the bleach to go as well. So just wash this maybe 3 or 4 times, and then I'll get that bleached for 1 minute. So my bleach is at the perfect temperature of 27, so I'm just going to put that in there for a minute. And already straight after bleaching you can see that there's a huge transformation in images. They're not super contrasty anymore, so it does work pretty well. And with other films I've noticed that bleach doesn't really have any obvious effect at this stage that you can see with your eyes, but this film here is some pretty unusual stuff, so it's behaving quite a lot differently from all the other films I've tried. But after bleaching you've got to wash it really thoroughly, or else if there's any bleach left over it will contaminate the fixer, and also it will cause the film to probably get discoloured too, so this has to be thoroughly washed at this stage several times. I'll just use the water from the water bath because we've got a boiler in the house, and every time you turn on the tap the boiler just comes on, and then you get spells of cold and hot water just because it takes a while for the water to start flowing through the boiler, and it's just not ideal. So you've just got to keep washing that until the water's clear, and then again afterwards. But just looking at these, I think they've come out fairly accurate, with fairly accurate colours so far, but we'll soon see. But yeah, just continue washing until it's all washed properly. Should take you about 6 times. Now we're on to the fixing step. Now this should take about 2 minutes. This fixer it does age, so the times will have to be increased as the fixer gets older, but mine's still effective for about the 2 minute mark, so I'll just start my timer, and then you can see it's acting very quickly. So much so that I think this film might only need about 1.5 minutes in the fixer. So if you fix it too long, I think that could also turn the film red or discolour it. So judging by how quickly that's changed there, I think I'm only going to give it 1 minute. But this film, it does behave differently from my other films. It fixes faster and bleaches faster. In fact, I'm going to stop fixing it now. That's about 1 minute. Now this is, again, as I've said before, this is thiosulfate fixer. So after you have fixed the film, you've got to again rinse it super thoroughly, because if this fixer gets left in the film, it will just turn red eventually. It will just deteriorate much more quickly. So just doing a wash just now, so just wash it thoroughly about 5 or 6 times, and then it's ready for stabilising. Then stabilise for 3 minutes. I've also got one picture on this which I just took through in the kitchen, just using it like a normal camera film, so we'll see how that turns out as well. I'd imagine it would have some pretty crazy colours to it. But while that's stabilising, what else you can do is fixer reacts with oxygen in the air, and so does the developer. So what I like to do is use air duster, or since I'm into refrigeration too, I use R290 refrigerant, which is just basically propane with no smell, and I just bubble some in, close the cap, and just do the same with the fixer, because the developer and fixer react with oxygen in the air and they deteriorate. But that developer there is several months old and it's been stored in a fridge outside, and it's actually still working brilliantly, so I'm happy about that. The bleach, it actually likes oxygen, so it's a good idea sometimes to let air in the bottle and give it a good shake. But that should be about done anyway, so we'll see what the results are. Okay, so here's the results of that test, and so it was just a colour palette was the first thing that I took a picture of, and these ones had the redness applied, so I could try and correct it to show it properly on here. These next ones had no red correction applied. As you can see, the colours aren't exactly right, and these ones, even with that redness applied, they're now a bit too yellow. So I was thinking that there could be maybe some sort of way to take the colours that have come on this film, compare them to what they should be on the screen, and maybe I could work out some sort of colour correction system which looks at how the image came out in the film against how it should be on the screen, and then it could spit out some figures that I could maybe use to correct for that difference. But I'm not really sure how I could do that, because it should be possible to use the difference between this image and the difference between the one on the screen and compute some sort of correction I can apply, but I don't know. But yeah, they came out a bit better, but still way off. And here you can see that as a camera film, it certainly does provide some interesting results, and it's even got some sort of grain of its own too. This image was just taken with a shutter speed of 1 second at f2.8.